Hi everyone, it's Viktor speaking, and Tsveti and I are here to speak about the full moon. It looks like it has become a series now, so we're gonna keep going on this year. Hope you enjoy this video. If you do so, don't forget to press like. And by the way, if you would like to have a reading with us, then the website is gonna be available in the description box below. So how are you doing, Tsveti?
I'm doing good, thank you. Looking forward to the video. It's quite a nice picture, even. It's like a hologram this time, a very nice one with a kite figure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking forward to the full moon indeed.
Yeah, we've got loads going on with this full moon actually. So let's crack on it. How do you feel about it? What's going to be the main topic?
Well, because it's in Libra, so it will be definitely something related to us and others, so relationships, of course. But because the moon is in Libra and the sun is in Aries, and they're in opposition because it's a full moon, so the ruler of the moon, which is Venus, is on the side of the sun. So it will be a very interesting development, I think, because practically we will probably learn what it's like to be on the other side, to be in the shoes of others. And we will probably be able to assert ourselves strongly because we have strong Aries energy. But at the same time, we will know what we need to compromise within some limits, though, because Libra is a sign which really likes to please everyone and to be liked by everyone. And it is very often inclined to make, how do I say, to compromise and to really, yeah, do things for others and disregard their own needs. So this time it won't be like this. I think there will be some kind of a balance in this opposition. Although it's an opposition, it will present this opportunity to really assert ourselves and to know the limits of how far we can go in compromise.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, when the Libra and Aries axis get highlighted, by the way, this full moon is going to be happening on 8th degree of Libra, and it
Yeah.
definitely highlights the relationship and the togetherness with others. But apart from that, Libra talks about justice, fairness. So it's going to show you, because the full moon always spotlights something. So it's going to show you where there is no fairness going on. So it doesn't just involve your romantic relationships, but you might want to be looking at where the Libra house cusp is in your chart. Maybe it's the 10th house, and it's going to be highlighting some of the relationship with your boss, for instance, or even with your mom. Or when it comes to, for instance, the 6th house, maybe it's going to be highlighting something to do with your medical conditions and something to do with your lifestyle, and you're going to have to bring some type of balance in it. And if you have got any planet around 8 degree, and it could be something to do with the cardinal energies especially, meaning that Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer, then have a look at what does that planet rule in your chart, because you also need to be bringing balance in that area of life. So I'll give you an example. Let's imagine that you have got your Aries, Libra axis in the 1st and the 7th house. And then you have got Saturn, for instance, in that 7th house, which is going to be ruling your 10th house in that case. So you're going to have to find how to balance out something in your relationship as well as in your work. So maybe it's going to be about work and life balance. And which one am I going to give up on a little bit, or take some energy away and then put it into the other area of life? Yeah, so this full moon is very much about making some adjustments in our relationships. And maybe it's with our parents, maybe it's with our siblings, if it's falling into the 3rd house. Maybe it's with our father, if it falls into the 4th and the 10th. But somehow the relationship to certain topics are very much highlighted.
Yeah, and also now that you mentioned the 8th degree of the full moon, actually there will be 5 planets in this 8th degree. And I was looking at the number 8 as some kind of a symbol as well. And it's actually the symbol of infinity, which is only turned upside down and not like a horizontal. And I was thinking that it's like the possibility to go below to see what you really need, and to go above to see what ideas, what new kind of energy could come, and as an enlightenment even, to figure out and to solve the issues that you have. So this figure 8, I think it's very much highlighted this time in the chart of the full moon. And it's also, as far as I know in numerology, this is actually the figure, the number of Saturn, is it?
Yes, I believe
Yes.
so. Yeah.
So there is some kind of constructiveness in everything, and maybe there will be some kind of results if we manage to tap into this energy and to see what's working, what we can manifest, and what any new ideas that we can, bring down. Then Saturn, this energy of Saturn, could really lead to hard work and then to some results from our actions.
Yeah, surely, it's going to be all about balance. But at the same time, I do believe that if I look at just that number 8, which might be related to somehow the 8th house matters, and then intimacy can come into the picture, and also something to do with power struggles and the rebirth. So maybe this is the period of time when we should be focusing on the rebirth of our relationship with certain people. As I said, if it's the 10th house which is getting activated here, then is it actually a peaceful environment I work at? Or am I going to get the bonus? Or do I get on well with my boss? Or is there anyone I need to be making peace with, at work? Or what is the relationship like with my job? Am I actually on the right track or not? So as you said, this is very much about me versus you. Obviously, Aries is a go-getter. Aries is sometimes a little bit of a selfish energy, and Libra is all about making compromises in life and trying to, as you said, look out for the other people's needs as well. So, the major questions of this full moon is that, do I need to prioritize my own needs in the relationship, or do I need to actually listen to my partner? And how am I going to bring balance between the self and the other? Right? Yeah. So it's not an easy one, of course, because we're going to have to sort things out, which is out of balance in our life. And the only way we can do that by making some type of conversations with someone. But this full moon has got so many aspects as well. So which one is your favorite one?
I like the whole kite figure because it's like, again, leading me to think it has a grand trine in air signs, which is the moon to Saturn and to Mars. And then it has a small, like a talent bisextile triangle, they call it, with Sun and Venus on the apex, and then again Saturn and Mars. And when I look at it, at the chart, it looks like an arrow leading, because these are male signs, and these are all related to thinking and to action, indeed, in the kite figure, I mean. They will be helping us to balance out this opposition, but maybe through, because it's a kite figure, through going to some extremes at first so that we can find our balance. It's again leading us to think about this opposition between the sun and the moon, which is the backbone of the kite figure, and which is actually the opposition between me and others. So there will be definitely, through conversations, because it's an air grand trine, through communication, through communicating your needs, and through actions indeed as well, because we have Mars and Saturn there, which will require us to act and not only think about certain matters. And then the Aries on the apex of the kite figure will really give us some fresh ideas, maybe give us some insight on the divine thought, the background, why something is happening and why we are in such a a situation which is triggering us to act upon it, which is actually like a pain in the neck indeed.
You know, speaking about Grand Trine, if someone doesn't know what it means, then basically we've got three planets who are trining each other. So now trine is a 120-degree aspect, which is actually it looks like a triangle basically. And we also call it as the large talon triangle. So it does give plenty of opportunities. But at the same time, I usually remind people with grand trines that it could also bring complacency as well, because sometimes the opportunities are coming and then we don't grab those opportunities and eventually it just goes away. But grand trine in astrology indicates abundance and available skills and something to do with potentials in our charts. So again, this grand trine is all about giving us potentials of bringing something in harmony in our life. But in many cases, what could happen is with grand trines, people look down on others. And as Tsveti mentioned here, we've got plenty of male energy going on. So it might indicate that some of the men gonna look down on women and obviously it goes out of balance. And also we've got some hard aspects as well, which we're gonna be speaking about. But for instance, the Saturn and the Mars combination. So it might give us just a little bit of a boost to, you know, stand up for yourself in a sense. So Grand Trine is something fantastic and it's a talent in your chart, but you do need to know that it can take you to complacency and laziness as well, sometimes indifference.
Yeah, and it's very nice that we have this opposition indeed, so that it can trigger us with some issue that we need to solve, so that we can really harness the energy of the Grand Trine and to try to figure out a possible solution for what is bugging us, especially in terms of relationships.
Yeah, and you know, definitely this whatever relationship we talk about, it's gonna be about healing, because Venus also has got a very tight conjunction to Chiron, which is opposing the moon. And also we've got an asteroid called Ceres, which is basically making a little bit of a loose opposition to the moon, but it is still being in effect. You know, and this could really highlight some of the shadow work, something which is going on behind the scene. Well, I would like to grab the opportunity to talk to you about a fixed star called Salacia. And if you don't know how to look that up, basically go on astro.com and in the additional object box, just type in 120347, and then you will be able to see where Salacia is. And actually, Salacia was the wife of Neptune. Now, she didn't want to get married ever. She wanted to preserve her virginity, but Neptune was pretty seductive and determined when it came to the courtship. So eventually she gave in. And basically, she is talking about erotic fascinations and interests and some type of sexual intent and sexual activities. So it's full of passion and desire and kind of romance. So these aspects are very much about healing through love. By the way, I wouldn't be shocked if in the next 6 weeks there would be a sexual scandal going on as well on the social media, especially with that Neptune Mercury conjunction, what's going on. But, you know, this Salacia series, Venus, really altogether it talks about the healing, what we should be doing in our relationships and togetherness and, you know, spending some quality time together with our partner as well, not just in the bedroom, but outside the bedroom as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the day, as you said, this full moon is ruled by Venus, which has got a conjunction to the sun. So, how do you feel about that?
Well, the Sun and Venus conjunction, it's a very nice conjunction indeed, because it indicates that Venus is going to rise soon, it's going to become visible, and so that all that our wishes and all that we wanted to manifest so far, and we had a hard time doing so, will become much more easier and possible. So yeah, I think it's also Venus rules our desires, and the heart rules as well our heart's desire, our mission. So we will be much more in line to really put efforts and to work on what we really want, and we will feel supported. And I was also thinking about this Chiron Sun conjunction, and it occurred to me that actually Sun, which is Apollo, indeed, was actually adopted Chiron when he was left from his parents. So it's a very healing, I think it's a very healing conjunction. And because Venus is also right there into it, there is a huge potential to heal. Also, the fixed star that you mentioned, was it a fixed star? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also talking about this kind of healing with Neptune. So there could be really this great potential to heal ourselves, our self-worth, because Venus is self-worth as well, among others, through shining a light within us so that it can go out of us as well.
You
Yeah.
know, when there is a sun conjunction, the ultimate purpose of the sun is always to spiritualize and purify the influence of that planet, which is standing right next to the sun. And of course, Venus is very much about our sensual side. So
Mhm.
it's our desires, it's our experiences, our how we experience sensual pleasures. But you know, the sun is burning that. So meaning that it's in the spotlight. So whatever is not working at the moment, that needs to be talked out. Because at the end of the day, Venus is invisible now. So maybe some of the ladies'
Mm.
problem nowadays could be that for instance, I don't see myself beautiful, or my partner is not giving me enough feedback about, you know, how beautiful I am, or someone is overshadowing me. So it's worth having a look at what the sun rule in your natal chart, because that could be the area of life which is overshadowing your self-worth. So maybe it's your eighth house, then your fears are overshadowing it. Or maybe it's actually the seventh house. So the partner is not giving you enough compliments, for instance. But, you know, also Venus does rule money, Sun does rule a vocation. So maybe it's just the fact that I don't feel treated fairly at work. And everyone receives pay rise and I don't get the pay rise, right? So or it could just indicate that we're going to have some type of, I'm getting overshadowed by my boss, the sun, and maybe he wants to take over, he wants to do my job, or he's kind of patronizing me, and that's the reason why I don't feel necessarily too good about it. And the sun is also the vitality, and Venus is the kidney. Now some of you might be experiencing some type of pain around the kidney area. And kidney actually represents relationships. So, so overall, whichever angle we are trying to approach this new moon, this is very much about relationship with others and myself as well at the same time. You know, but at the end of the day, we can use that sun to bring people together, to pinpoint some type of common interests. Sometimes with Venus Sun conjunction, we want to be liked, we want to be spending time to please others, but it's happening in the sign of Aries. So it's all about allowing others to actually please us as well, for at least once in our life, right? And Venus is very much about ironing out disputes. It represents crossroads in our life. So Sun can highlight that as well. Which way am I going to go? This way or that way? And we're going to have to make a decision about that. Whichever house position it happens, that's where you're going to have to make this decision. That's the area of life you might be at a crossroad at.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, Venus is something which spends 9 months as a morning star, 9 months as an evening star. So as Tsveti said, it's going to be a shift here. There's going to be a shift here very shortly. And Venus is going to become visible somewhere around the 26th of April. Usually it happens when Venus is 10 degrees away from the sun. Now, because Venus rules number 5, Tsveti started talking about some numerological facts, so let me carry on that. Number 5 is something to do with talents, with fun and entertainment, but also in a way spiritual awakening as well. And it does rule your 5 senses. So maybe with that sun, the question is, what can't you not hear? What cannot you smell? What cannot you touch?
Yes.
So it's very much about evaluating something which might not be yours.
Yeah, and just like you mentioned that, I'm looking at Mercury and Neptune, which are like 2-3 degrees apart, and they're always almost conjunct. So it's something definitely we need related to we need to feel and to sense something which is not really so obvious and visible, but is there. So because sometimes the most essential things are totally invisible for the senses. We can't smell them, we can't see them, but we know they're there. And maybe it's a nice time to tap into this energy and to see within us what's really bugging us and what's not working out well for us, even if we were not able to articulate this in words so far. So we might really tap into the energy and feel what this is, so that we can start working on that with this Aries energy, which really wants to act upon whatever is not right. The Aries energy is also very much related to justice and to treating unfair situations so that they become fair, and it's the first spark. So when we have this insight, this moment of insight, we will have the first spark to act upon it. So yeah.
Well, speaking about Mercury and Neptune, that exact conjunction is going to be happening the following day, which is on the 29th of March. It's going to be on the 21st degree of Pisces. And these two together is very creative. So Mercury is the deal making, it's plans and schedule and collecting data and sorting information out. And Neptune is a dissolving energy. So, if you are working with spreadsheets, maybe give up today on that. If you have got important meetings, maybe you shouldn't be scheduling any. Maybe it's just the fact that you forgot to take your shopping list with you, and then you get angry. Or maybe, especially if Mercury rules your 10th house, you are not able to focus on your work. You get easily distracted. And also, there is Saturn Mars trine as well going on. So with this Mercury conjunction Neptune, we must mention the road rage, because we can be easily distracted on the roads. So we do need to be paying attention to accidents as well. Or maybe it's about people are late. So this Mercury Neptune is very much about forgiveness and not necessarily getting agitated by that. Maybe you get delayed by other people. So the key with Neptune and Mercury is really about forgetting and forgiving. But very good to write music or writing spells or writing songs or
Yeah.
some creative endeavor with your hands, or just walking in the nature, really.
Yes. Or even, performing, manifesting some type of magic. So some magical full moon rituals, any type of gemstones and anything related to, to something coming to you in a magical way. Thinking about, dreaming about it, like having the same, like combining the thought, Mercury, and the heart, and our whole being into one specific thing that we want to manifest. I think it will be very good for such visualizations and manifesting rituals and things. And yeah, also Mercury is it's a Neptune. They're in a bit large sextile to Pluto, but again, it indicates that we will be able to get in touch with our deepest emotions, motivation, why we do something, why we don't do something as well, and to get to know ourselves so that we can understand better others. And this again leads us to this Libra energy again, because the only way we can be empathetic to others is if we understand them. And in order to understand them, we need to be forgiving and empathetic to ourselves as well. So it's really this axis of the relationships to ourselves and to others activation.
And how do you feel about the Saturn Mars trine?
Although it's a trine, we know that Mars and Saturn are not the best friends. And because actually Mars it's a dry and hot energy, while Saturn it's a cool and dry energy. So Mars will want to act, and Saturn will tell Mars, well, it's not the right time to do so. And luckily it's a trine this time, so there will be some communication going on in a more harmonious way. And maybe when Mars is trying to be too fast, Saturn will, stop. So yeah, if we put it in a more mundane context, it's like when we want to do something and we are in a hurry, there will be some delay which will save us in a way.
Exactly. At the end of the day, Saturn is in a superior position here because
Yes.
he is in rulership, and Mars is in Gemini, where let's call it as neutral energy. So Mars is getting expressed with Saturnian energies, and trine is always a Jupiterian aspect. So it does talk about opportunities. I usually describe the Saturn Mars combinations as the long distance runner. So
Yes.
Saturn wants to take it a little bit slowly, but get in there and basically making sure that we've got energy at the end of the marathon as well. Because otherwise, Mars would be just running like chicken without hands. And
Yes.
then in the last maybe 5 miles, it would run out of gas. And then Saturn says, no, do that a little bit slower, but then we will get to the finish line, and we will be able to accomplish something. So I feel like this aspect is very productive. It does say that with discipline and hard work, everything can get done. You just have to dedicate yourself and motivate yourself, and having some type of structure. Maybe you need a Mars in your life to push you as well a little bit,
Yeah.
because Saturn sometimes goes a little bit too slowly. But because it's in air sign, it's all about manifesting some of your ideas. So actually, this is a brilliant date or brilliant new moon, full moon,
Full.
to have a cooperation with someone and start some type of business opportunities as well. I tend to be
Yeah.
calling the Saturn Mars energy as a pressure cooker. So obviously, when we are cooking, then we are heating the pot up, and then you've got a lid on it, which is Saturn, so the water is not running out of the pot, right? And so we've got this steam, and at the end of the day, this steam could be quite malefic as well, because maybe the stakes are too high, and when you are close to something, then you basically want to win. And sometimes Saturn, Mars don't pay attention to others around them. And this is exactly what the full moon is highlighting, that it's not just about watching out for our needs, but watching out for other people's needs as well.
Yeah.
So, for instance, with that Saturn Mars, you guys need to pay attention not to break your leg. Very easily done, actually, around these energies.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe one more thing about Mars, which is very close to the North Node. We might actually be, because the North Node is a bit scary, can be a bit scary as energy. It triggers us to go into deepest, coldest waters, indeed. So it might be really great that we have Saturn in a trine to Mars, because otherwise it can be really dangerous where we want to dive, and maybe we are not ready, and maybe Saturn will require preparation, and that's why causing some delay. So it is actually really helpful and supporting in this sense. And also because the Saturn and Mars, they form a grand trine, as we discussed before, with the moon. As you mentioned, this moon being together with them actually will make us think about others and other people's needs as well, because the moon also means needs, and because it's in Libra, it will highlight not only what we need, but also what others need.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's worth mentioning what we should expect on a world scale as well. Because, Libra, the fairness, the social justice, the other sign which is very much about law reinforcement is Sagittarius. And Jupiter has got such a big role nowadays because it is ruling the South Node at the moment, and also it's in the sign of Aquarius as well, which is all about basically talking about the collective past together. So I feel like this is not just about how we relate with our personal surroundings, but how other people relate to each other as well. So I'm kind of repeating myself, but I believe that some of the restrictions are going to get lifted up in the next 6 to 8 weeks. And I think it's getting closer. And Jupiter does indicate in Aquarius something to do with the human rights and freedom. Now, I'm not shocked about it because actually I just read it that the European Union said that they cannot restrict anyone of going outside at night either. So there shouldn't be any of those in the European Union, and they shouldn't be asking any type of passport and stamp that you have got COVID, vaccine given, and so forth. So this might be the new moon. I'm sorry, I keep saying new moon, but it's a full moon. This might be the full moon, when it's going to get highlighted in the world a little bit more, and maybe there is going to be some type of legislation brought in. Libra rules anything to do with the Sagittarius rules anything to do with the Supreme Court, and Libra talks about the social type of court cases. So maybe actually there is going to be a huge case which is going to come to light, and we're going to gain some information about that on social media also.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason why I believe there could be something in the air, because that moon has got an in conjunction to Uranus as well, though.
Yes.
So Uranus is still a rebellious energy, and it's all about strikes, and it's an explosion, and moon is people. And at the same time, let's not forget, we don't have a single retrograde planet on the sky till 27th of April, when Pluto is going to be going retrograde. So, we've got so much Aries going on. Everyone is in direct motion. So things are happening fast, getting faster and faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have anything else to share?
Not really. I think we mentioned the the whole picture and the energies that will be felt quite strongly. This is a very nice full moon, I would say. It can be used for really constructive purposes, and yeah, let's hope. It's actually it looks like a new beginning. That's why maybe you keep saying it's a new moon, because it really looks like a new beginning about something. Yeah, so it has these energies related to it, with something new that we can think of and find out about ourselves, so that we can become more accepting, more empathetic towards us and others.
I'm just thinking that Mars has got such a spotlight, especially in the last 2 weeks of March and the first 2 weeks of April. We've got so many planets in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Mars was making a square to Mercury on the 23rd. And then now it is going to be having the conjunction to the North Node. Then it's going to be soon making a trine to Jupiter as well. So Mars is very much highlighted, in my opinion. And, and then, of course, we've got the Mars and Saturn trine as well. So we've got plenty of Marsian energy, and that's a feisty one. That's all about sprinting ahead the pack, and it can be very volatile as well. But Tsveti and I will be making a Mars and North Node conjunction video, because probably that's going to be a good 40 minutes as well, and we don't want you to be sitting with us for so long. So we will be back in a couple of days with another video about Mars North Node conjunction and how you can tackle the energy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. And if you like the video, then just give us some love. And see you shortly. Thank you, Tsveti, for joining me.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful full moon and great manifestations. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.